Craig here at AudioLevel DJ Store with a tutorial on MIDI mapping, something that I do get asked about from time to time. We're going to be looking within Serato DJ, which is my software choice, but don't worry if you're on Record Box, Tractor or Virtual DJ, anything like that. You can do the same thing as you're going to see here in this video. We're going to look also at different types of MIDI controllers, not just mapping DJ controllers, but the likes of this here. The reason I'm doing the video is because I'm swapping this out. This is the Akai APC20 Ableton music production software, if you don't know, controller. And I mean, I had this doing things within Serato DJ. So I'm going to swap this for the APC Mini. Got a little bit more pads going on. I'll show you a few other ways to get the best out of MIDI mapping for various different types of controllers, be it entry level or more advanced. So let's get to it. For Serato DJ users, what you want to do is hit the setup menu up here, top right, and move across to the MIDI tab. And you'll see the currently connected devices to your computer. At the minute, I've got the Roland DJ707, the Numark DJ2GO2 connected to the Mac here. And down below, this is very important. I want to sort of get this bit out of the way. This is MIDI presets that you can save, and you can have as many of these as you want. The reason I want to show you this now, it'll make more sense down the line when you see a little bit more in depth within this video. But this would be aimed at people that are in a similar situation as myself, whereas you use more than one DJ controller, or you may take your laptop or your Mac and plug it into other people's DJ controllers. So setting MIDI presets is something that you really need to do. It'll make more sense as we go along. So at the minute, I have presets set for the DJ2GO, the Roland 707, and then I have this combination here, which we will get to also. But for now, we're going to start at the beginning at a more basic level. We're going to work with the DJ2GO2, but I'm not going to load this preset. That's one I already have saved, where I've made changes on that little DJ controller. I've set this preset here. This is blank for video, so this is basically I've just clicked new and saved it as this. So for yourself, you'll just be making a new preset, call it whatever you want, your particular DJ controller, and then you save it. If you only use one DJ controller and that's it, or you never connect your computer to anybody else's machine, you don't even need to really worry about this. So for now, I'm going to load this. Well, it's in fact current preset, blank for video. So this is already loaded. So that basically means that there's been no MIDI mapping done. If we go back into Serato here and open up MIDI, you can show or hide the MIDI panel here. Looking at the Numark DJ2GO2, obviously very small, compact little controller. In fact, here's an iPhone 6. So it's about the size of two smartphones. So with that being said, you can only squeeze so many controls onto it, but that's not to say that you can't get away with working with this. You really can. I prep mixes and very good for a backup in the bag. And it's only £59, so, you know, it serves a purpose. But what I've went ahead to do with this is, obviously, if you take a look at it, what's missing, first and foremost, EQs. So, I mean, not a game changer, but for smoother transitions, a little bit of EQing is obviously going to make a massive difference. So what I've went ahead and done, well, what I've done in the other preset, we are on the blank canvas here, remember? So what I'm going to do, again, to show you exactly the method, is I'm going to map various controls to do different things. So the level here, this is our volume fader. So imagine like a rotary mixer. So we'll have everything else that you need apart from those EQs. So here the Q level and the master level here. Once they're set, I don't need to change them. So there's a good level coming out of the master that can be tweaked when you're running into a different mixer. And for the headphones level, you know, you're not really doing much in the headphones with this controller because you're going to be syncing. You're not going to be going for massive long mixes with a little short pitch fader like this. So you're probably not even going to have headphones on, put it like that. So what I've done is I'm going to map these two little knobs here. I'm going to map them to the filter. So let's start with the right one here. So when we're in MIDI mapping mode, I'm going to click that filter and then turn the corresponding knob that we'll want to map that function to. So in this case, it's the right deck. And once you turn it, there you see that, and that now then takes control. Keep it at 12 o'clock, and we're going to repeat the process over on the left deck. Again, just click, and then move the knob, and now that's done. So we can come out of that just for a second. So basically what's happening now is when we turn these knobs, it's not going to affect the master volume or the headphones volume anymore. It's going to be it's a combi filter. So we've got a low pass filter and a high pass filter. Let's turn some speakers on here for you just quickly and demonstrate. Now, excuse the audio because I'm just taking this directly from the camera here to save it in editing, but hopefully you can hear that there. In fact, let's play a house track, that would help. Alright, there we go, house track over on the left deck then, playing in Serato at the minute. Let's check out our high pass and low pass filter. So we could use them when we're mixing two tracks together, bit of high pass filter on each to compensate for the lack of EQs. So that's one thing that can be done. Something else I've done with this controller already in my other preset is we have 4 different pad modes. So you have cues, auto loops, manual loops, and the sampler. So cues are getting used. Auto loops, handy to have. Manual loops, I never use manual looping, not with these controllers when you can just set an auto loop. And the sampler will get used, so we want to keep that available within Serato. So this tab here, I can map now anything along here to do whatever I want, because I'm never going to use that tab for what its intended purpose is. So for example, let's say we want to trigger an effect. So again, we'll go into the MIDI mode. I'm going to click this and then pop that, and then do this one here, pop that. Same on the left deck, corresponding buttons the same as our right one. And we could even change the beat parameters, so that's shorter and higher value, and the same for this one here, shorter and higher value. Come out of MIDI. So let's play the house track on the left deck here. So what we can now do is change the beat parameters. First of all, let's just set it to a level. Like that. Okay, so that's all you really need to do with your hands at the keyboard. And now I can just trigger that clean echo out, or the flanger. Change the parameters. Okay, so let's take a look at mapping what could be your main DJ controller. In this case, we're looking at the Roland DJ707M, which is my go-to controller that I take out for all my gigs, simply because it's the size of an entry-level controller. So it measures up against the Roland DJ2GO2 or the Pioneer DJ400 or the SB. It's that size of controller, but it has all the bells and whistles that you'd expect from a more high-end professional DJ controller. It has multiple ins and outs, much better sound card within it, and also 4 channels, RGB pads, and a whole host of other things hidden underneath the hood. So I do really enjoy using this. But what the problem here is there's a shift function to change the beat parameters. So let's just say I wanted to trigger my flanger, but I also want to change the beat value here. So I have to hold shift to do that, but then I would have to take off shift if I want to control how much dry or wet the effect has. So it's not intuitive enough. So that's the only one thing I miss on this. But again, with the aid of MIDI mapping, This whole section of the controller here, it's microphones, and I'm never really using them. In fact, you can have 4 mics plugged into this, so I could have other ones down along here. So all these knobs here aren't really going to be used more often than not. So I could take any of these and map them to what I want to do. So let's look at the presets that I have set already. In this case, I'm going to load the DJ707. So if I come out of MIDI, come out here. What I've done is, as you can see here, when I opened up MIDI, so you can see it's got the little blue corners around it. That means the beats there and there for the left and right deck. So that means that it's been assigned already. So all I done with that was click it like you've seen before. And these 2 knobs here, so these focal effects knobs never going to get used. So the closest one to here makes sense to map that. So I can now do that motion, and this one here is just over there. So after playing around a little bit, you know exactly what you're doing. So I'll give you an example of what I was talking about before. So that's set our flanger, beat value up to its highest at 8. Let's get a track playing there. So I can hit some dry wet. So very simple. That's all I've had to do with that, which is something that, you know, I missed from the likes of over here, having that individual control of the flanger there, and then the beat values at the same time. So with MIDI mapping, it's easy to customize your controller to give you the additional functions that you might be lacking, or in this case, missing. The last MIDI mapping scenario we're going to look at is with more than one device, and also MIDI controllers that aren't designed specifically for DJ use. So in this case, we're going to be rolling with the Roland DJ2GO2 as our DJ controller, and we're going to be mapping controls for Serato DJ to the Akai APC Mini up here, and the Novation launch control here. So first of all, what I'm going to do, this blank for vid that we've already used, let's just delete that. No need for that anymore. And here is the presets, and we're looking at this one in particular, the DJ2GO2, the APC20, which you've seen at the very beginning of the video, is the controller that used to sit here that I've took out to replace it with this, the APC Mini. So I'm going to open up this, in fact this is the current preset, it's already loaded once again. So if we go back into our main screen here, open up our MIDI tab, in fact what I need to do, open up our sampler. Was what I had done here originally was the volume controls you see here for each of the 8 sample slots. I had the previous controller, there's 8 volume faders, so I had all these controlling the volumes of the individual samples in here. So if we click MIDI, we will see that there is a sign, controls have been assigned previously. And that's because if I was to plug in the APC20 then and move these volume faders, then it would take control over these. So what I want to do, rather than having to redo that whole preset, it's a simple swap out for controller. I'm going to just remap these volumes here and maybe put something along here. So let's click that, press return to unassign. We're going to repeat this process with all these volume faders within the sampler in Serato. So just simple click and return for them all. Click, return, click, return. Okay, so start at the beginning. I'm going to click it again, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one here, and there we go. It has now took control of sample slot 1, and we're going to repeat this process right across 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So second one, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, and finally 8. So now any samples that's triggered in here, I have individual control of them, and it comes in great coupled with the Roland DJ 808 with the drum machine up here, which I'll demo in a short while. So for now, that's done. Let's also take a look at other controls within here. Let's turn MIDI off just for a second. I'm going to go into our settings. And I'll just do these first three. So I've only got clips in there. And this function here, I'm going to click MIDI again. And that was again mapped before to the older APC20. I'm going to take those all off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that now, and I'm going to map that to this. So you can now see that, and I've also got in the settings enable output lighting, which basically means the changes that's made here are represented on your particular MIDI controller. So I'll just do these other few, and that's the key correction or master tempo. In this case with Serato, it's the pitch and time plugin. So I can now, if I have samples in there and I want them to stay in key with what I'm currently playing, or if I don't want to do, if I want to have a little bit more flexibility over the key range, I can now trigger that off and on here. And again, this is personal preference. I have more knobs here. I could get even more intricate and MIDI map to other solo, muting and solo, and the type of play or where to play from, anything at all. So in this case, just keeping it basic and simple for now. Just come out of that to see our little waveforms here a second, and let's just demo something and turn these speakers on beforehand. So here we've got the bass drum, snare drum, closed hat, open hat. We have independent volume controls over each of those individual sounds, and we can program them in however we want. Let's just kick off our kick drum again, little filler on the end. We have individual controller, so again, snare drum, closed hat. So we've got those four sounds built into the unit. What we can also do, which I love about the Roland DJ 808, is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that is the 8 sample slots of the inbuilt sampler in Serato DJ. So we can also trigger any of the sounds we have in there in a step sequencing fashion, which is pretty cool, and you can sync it up over your tracks that you're currently DJing with, and you could actually basically remix a track on the fly just off this controller alone, which is something I'm going to do in a future vid with building the drum parts, adding in the samples, and dual layer with the decks. So stay tuned for that. But for now, just keep it a little bit more simple and just show you what we have going on here. So let's focus just here on the first slot. So what I've got there is the intro to Stardust Music Sounds Better With You. So I can actually step sequence that in and sync everything together with what's currently playing. So let's just fire off a kick drum there. Bring our tempo down there. Nice. And remember our key correction. There we go. So see how that comes in handy. There's it playing far too fast. So I'm just going to trigger the key correction, master tempo, or in this case a pitch and time plugin of Serato. So it's now in its proper key. So we'll have that running on a continuous loop now. Go to sample slot 2. I've got the Stardust Music Sounds Better a cappella in here, and we can do really cool things with this that you just can't do anywhere else in a live DJ environment. So again, I'm going to turn the key, master tempo, pitch and time on, and I can program in this to trigger at various times. Just sync that there. And I have also the control, so we can take the controls of the vocal down up here. Set that in there again, actually. Give myself 2 hands. Can you see? Okay, cool. So we now have control of the sampler via an external device that isn't a DJ controller. So there's our intro loop there, our vocal,